Chasing dreams down that open road. Living fast, baby, all I know. Daddy told me gotta give it my all. Cause we're some blue-collared outlaws. We're living life at full speed, there's no pacing. Midwest lifestyle, Ohio grudge racing. Taking home the money wide open on that open road. It's full throttle since the baby bottle, baby, this is all I know. And overload, tires roll, tell them I want all the smoke. Slow pokes will choke in my rear view. Adios, run your car, not your mouth, put your money where your motor is. Heavy hitters, dream killers, kill shot, hold them still, told them chill, we on fire. Life is lit with rocket fuel, stop it fool. Blue-collared outlaws, who you think you talking to? Winning attitude all on the line and we ain't about to lose. Beat the brake pads off, knock your car up out the shoes. Line them out, chalk them up, underdogs on top again. Never say die, we from Columbus, so we gotta win. Hard working, fast running outlaws and street racing. All your dreams is in my tail lights, you can keep chasing.
Happy Monday, everyone. I don't know about you, but I'm still a little tired from more in the woods. I got a nap, so I can imagine everybody working and how they feel. Mark, how's it going? But what an amazing race. Jeff and his crew always do an amazing job, and there was no disappointment in the action or the lineup or anything this weekend. All the gangsters showed up in every class, and every class was impressive and competitive. Gabe, how's it going, brother? You still working? Bill, what's up, buddy? Hey, Rob. It was a badass weekend, man. Oof. I know. My man Eddie here tore his hamstring walking 1,000,000 miles. There's a lot of ground to cover. There's so much to see. There's so much to do. It is a lot of ground to cover. I hope you recover quickly, brother, because that sucks. That picture you sent me was, I am, man. I kind of just halfway recovered this morning, but then I just got back from the gym on leg day, and I think I just re-exhausted myself all over again. But I'll definitely sleep good tonight, man. Jasper and the gang helping with parking and stuff. They kick ass every time too, and you guys put in all that work and race and help other people. You guys are, I'm sure you guys are all tired as I am, and I didn't do nearly that much. Heck yeah, hopefully not too much longer, brother. Especially, I don't know down there what it is, but I think it's what is it? It's 83 and sunny here. So I know it's warm here. I bet it's warm in that freaking brown oven. I know most of those things don't even have AC or anything. Marty, what's going on, buddy? How are you? So we got a couple of the winners. I reached out to everybody, but I only heard back from Brian White, Mike Moss, and Dean Blevins. So we'll have those three come on here in just a few minutes and get their view on their experiences. But from my view is woof. It's always a great time. It's always great seeing everybody. I catch up with so many people at War in the Woods. It seems like that's one of those events where I see so many different people from all over the region. Some of you guys only get to see maybe once or twice a year. So it's always great to catch up with everyone. And with it being a one-day event because of the weather, seemed like I did 90% catching up and talking to people and 10% media stuff. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, there's a million people doing video and pictures, and quite frankly, 99% of them are probably better than I am anyway. So I did manage to get a little bit of footage. So I'll get some stuff out tomorrow. I'll get some stuff edited tomorrow and Wednesday and out this week. But you guys have probably already pretty much seen it all anyways. But we'll just see my attempt at covering the event. Erica, how you doing? Waffles, she's running around here somewhere. Vicious little shithead that she is. I know I had a couple people ask me, it was like, where's Jasper? He's not even racing. What the hell? I was like, oh no, he's racing. But always a great time, man. What an amazing field of cars. Probably one of the more impressive things in this day and age is 21 big tire cars. I mean, last year that would have been daggone near impossible, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. Most people have given up on big tire, and Jeff pulled off one hell of a feat getting 21 of them to show up. That was amazing, and the action did not disappoint with those guys. It never does. Big tire cars fly there at Brown County, and they get rowdy. And it was a good show. But street class was amazing. I mean, every class was amazing. I mean, there isn't any bad races there ever. "21 entered, only had 14 run." Yeah, there was quite a few breaks, unfortunately, or whatever. I didn't catch up on all that, but I do remember that happening. I did have the brisket. I did have a brisket sandwich, man. I like that barbecue truck. They always got good food, man. I had a brisket sandwich. It did me all right. Soon. I really haven't had much motivation to work on it or anything. I'm really just not interested in racing the tracks anymore, to be honest. And there isn't any street stuff really going on. And that's probably been the majority of my lack of motivation. However, if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a dream, a bucket list fantasy to go to Sweden and race. And I met a husband and wife from Austria this weekend at Warner Woods, as a matter of fact. And they come over here to race quite a bit. And then that made me ask the question about shipping containers and shipping cars and the logistics of that. And then I told them what I wanted to do. And they said, oh, yeah, we've been there for that. So hopefully they reach out to me. They're supposed to send me a friend request. And so we can get together on that, because they had all the info. Like we said, we talked about it all. They were a very nice couple. Talked to them for quite a while. And man, maybe in 2026, I can finally get that Blazer overseas and go do that, because, well, unlike over here, they ain't scared to race in the streets. I hope so, buddy. I hope so. I wish Big Tire would come back. I always love watching them. It's always a great time. It's just kind of sucks as an event promoter when you allocate time to a class and you get 4 or 5 that show up. And that's time away from the other classes that do show up in abundance. You know what I mean? So it sucks. That's why we had to dump it this year, so we could have more time allocated to the classes that are showing up. But I wish Big Tire would come back, man. I love watching them. That was 64 in small tire. I believe it was 21 in big tire. I feel like it was 31 in hard tire. I feel like it was maybe 42 in the street class, and then like 32 or 36 in the bikes. I mean, the bike class was crazy. I agree. Bikes were, I love bikes, you know, they were insane. I mean, I believe he would try. I believe he would try for sure. Frankenstein Vet is a tough customer, man. No matter where they go, front side, back side, streets, they've pretty much got a well documented and proven pedigree with that car on just about every condition. Radial, light prep, no prep, front side, back side, streets, you name it. I mean, the car is just, it's a tough customer. It's tough to beat for sure. They absolutely do. Those guys are top notch. Oh, there you go. 42 in True Street. Be careful what you wish for, buddy. 21 hard. So yeah. And 28 and 26s, which 26 class, man, was probably not far off the mark from 28s. I mean, it was very it was very impressive seeing how those guys were getting down there for the first time on a 26, man. I mean, there's not a huge difference. I know some guys go faster on a 26 than a 28. So it'll be interesting to see where that class develops into. Unfortunately, Uncaged rule set was set last year before anybody was really doing it, so I can't add it this year. But either 26s or True Street, I'll be adding one of those classes next year. But like I said, unfortunately, we set everything up in October or November before anybody was even had the idea to do the 26s or the True Street classes, and came out with worthwhile, well, not True Street, but came out with worthwhile rule sets. So definitely, I'd say definitely the closest race of the event was Cantu versus Frankenstein. If they were able to have a more clear image, and when I say that, I'm not criticizing anything they did or how they did it or their equipment at all. That's a very tough situation to record. I'm just saying, you know, whatever. If that was a possibility, I would have to imagine that that race was probably an inch or two difference, and who knows who had the inch or two. You know, it's just that's the way it goes. You know, seeing the picture, they did the right thing as a promoter. If that was the only picture I had to go off of, I would have to call it a rerun as well. I know some people weren't excited about that or whatever, but I don't think Jason or the Prestons, either one, disagreed with it, and they both just got ready and came back up and handled business like the professionals they are. And the second time, Frankenstein came out on top without question. Oh, dude. I was a little bit worried about that, man, to be honest, because he was in the finals to 26s, but then he ran semifinals in 28s, and I probably, if I was him, would have preferred to just get the 26s out of the way, just in case I blew up or something bad happened in the 28 semifinals. At least I could show up and perform for the 26 class, win, lose, or draw. At least I could make that call. but he made the call both times and kicked ass both times. You know, yeah, it's definitely I'm feeling you know, you're going to start seeing a similar car count on the people who are doing that. You know, instead of having 60 or 70 28 show up, now it seems like, you know, majority of races 30, 40, 50 28s, and then another 10 or 20 or 30 on 26s probably is. I'm no expert. I'm just guessing, but I bet it's going to work out some way like that, you know. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, the Blazer, I mean, of course, it was a lot less horsepower than what guys are running now, but it loved a 26 on the street versus it loved those Mickey SS's over a CO6, CO7. I mean, it loved it. Some work better. I don't know that would be the case now with the current setup, but the old setup, yeah, the 26 was where it's at. Yeah, I love it. I probably never be very hard pressed for me to miss one. Even last fall, cut my leg off in half 2 days prior, and I still came. It's just one of those races, man. What's up, buddy? How you doing? He is. I tell you, if I can't say enough good things about Brian outside of how well his program is, just like the person that he is and his knowledge base and all that jazz, man. He's a pretty awesome dude. You could be right. You know what I mean? You could be right. It was that, like I said, if you had some $1 million camera that could go like 780,000 frames per second and with a crystal clear image and blah, 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 and whatever, you know, if my aunt had a wiener, she'd be my uncle, along those lines of thinking. I can't imagine it being more than an inch or two difference between those two cars. Well, you know, just is what it is, man. This you're a pretty bad dude, man. See, he agrees. What's up, brother? I felt so bad I didn't get to come see you. Like, I wandered over there a couple of times, but you weren't in the pits, and the one time I did see you was you were busy. But we gotta catch up soon, man. I miss y'all. I haven't talked to you for a while. Hey, brother, how you doing? How's things over in the UK? Yeah, see, it's one of them races, man. You just can't, you know, you gotta go. Oh yeah. No, the 26 is a bad tire. You can get down on a 26. I think that class will be as competitive and as quick as the 28s. Give it a little bit of time. These guys aren't going to not figure it out. You know what I mean? Andrew Lavender. So the two in the finals. Unfortunately, Andrew missed the tune-up and spun the tire. But, I mean, Andrew Lavender was flying the entire evening as well. So Andrew and Brian White were the ones in the finals. And like I said, unfortunately, in the finals, Andrew just missed the tune-up and spun the tire. But he's probably as fast as Brian, and that would have been a very close race had they both made, you know, perfect passes. But unfortunately, in racing, it's just how it goes sometimes. But I would have loved to have seen them. I would have loved to have seen those two, you know, make their best pass down through there. That definitely would have been a very exciting race. They're both super smart, good guys, and their programs are together. Yes, and and the ones that entered in 28s and 26s, correct. You know, we're going pretty hot and heavy. I mean, it was already a long evening with a lot of stuff going on. But man, dual entry was definitely a bear. Oh, good to hear that, man. Happy to hear that, man. So I love bike classes, and I thought that they ran quick. I mean, it didn't take up time. I mean, I might be a little biased because that's where I got my start with anything fast on the streets was bikes, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I think, like I said, I think they were organized. They went up there. They didn't dilly-dally. When they got called down, they came down. They raced, you know. So it wasn't like they soaked up a bunch of time or destroyed the track or anything. And they were flying. They were flying. Oh, yeah. Yeah, way faster. As slick as Decker is, I'm sure those guys are not, you know, on a bike. They're going to get going and detune quite a bit. Absolutely, and it did. There was a big crowd there just for the bikes. So first guy up here. I'm running a little behind. I want to respect everybody's time that signed up to come on here for you guys. My man Mike Moss. Bring him on. What's going on, brother?
What's up?
So, for those that don't know, I want you to tell them a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about the car.
I'm from Akron, Ohio. Got a 85 Mustang Coupe, small block Ford, twin turbo. And started doing hard tire probably 2 years ago or something, and just been having a lot of fun. So figured I'd stick with it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hard for people to not know who Mike is if you follow hard tire. He's definitely, I'd say, top 5 in the country for sure. It's a SBE 4.8. You know, Mike is consistently in the semifinals or finals with some of the best in the country and winning pretty frequently as well. And so it's been cool to see your program progress because you kind of came out of the gate pretty hard. You know, it wasn't like you ramped up. You kind of, I remember the first couple times I saw you were doing decent, and then it was like, bam,
Right.
like you figured it out pretty quick. And so coming into War in the Woods, what was from last year? So last year you were in the finals and had some issues, went left a little bit and spun the tire. So coming into War in the Woods, and that was in the fall, right? Or was that spring? That was fall.
Fall. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it seemed like, I mean, the run order is more difficult out there with hard tire usually going first off the trailer and then water burnout. The tracks seem to be good in the fall, but running us first, and then I think it was late, the deuce set in, and just, I don't think anything went down the track for half hour, 40 minutes or something, and that just threw a little gear wrench in there that I wasn't really prepared for. But it's definitely a tricky surface. Mags is probably the closest track local that I could compare to that, but being pour your own prep, it usually comes around quicker than Brown County does. But yeah, it was, once I noticed that War in the Woods had that many hard tire cars, probably the year before that, I just knew that was somewhere that I wanted to go and give it a shot and kind of do a little bit more traveling, see how I could, hold up with some other hard tire competition. That seems to be where everybody meets up at. So
yeah. Gabe wants to know you 8.2 or 9.5 deck.
8.2.
And Erica Munson wants to know, what did you do before hard tire? What class?
Like, I think when Billy and them were running some stuff down at Pacemakers, I was running average Joes down there, basically just with my street car. So that was like a radial class, no adjustable front struts or anything like that. So that kind of is what got me hooked going down there and doing that. And then over time progressed, I kind of wanted to not chance wrecking that car or anything. It was just a car that I've had for a long time. And I just wanted to kind of learn, some fabrication and just build something that was more dedicated to doing that I didn't really care as much about if I cut it up or whatever. So I put together another Mustang for small tire. And I mean, ran some of the True Street, some of the small tire stuff for a year or two, and was helping my buddy DJ in hard tire. And we learned a lot with his car. So that's why once I decided to jump into hard tire, I kind of already had a pretty good idea of what I needed to do. So that helped a lot.
And so last time I saw you was at
I was originally going to build something else.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. I was going to put something else together for small tire, but just whatever. Money and everything else, just hard tires, where it's at for me financially. Just small tires, you can't take 2-3 years off, and they've progressed so much since then that it's crazy.
Gave one stick shift with 8.2. So last time I saw you, you were having some issues going hard left, and we talked about that before the race. We want to talk about that real quick, and then we'll get into the race, because that was kind of like, that was a challenge for you coming into this race as well, because you kind of got a last minute repair done.
Yeah, and I mean, I still don't know exactly what happened, but the anti-roll bar was pretty whooped. So I just went home, started looking over the car, didn't really find anything that was too crazy wrong, but ordered a new anti-roll bar, put that in the car, and just tried squaring everything else up and just nut and bolt check on everything. I didn't get it until later in the week. So Friday, I went to the track to test, and they had a big Memorial Day bracket race there. So I got one pass. That one pass went okay, but one pass wasn't really enough to know if it was fixed or not. Cause I mean, it went pretty straight the first 3 passes at Milan. So that was definitely in the back of my head, but loaded it up and headed to Brown County anyway. So got to do what you got to do. So, but
right.
First pass, I was a little, I put a little too hot of a tune-up in it first pass, but I got it down there. And I mean, the track seemed to come around pretty good. I think the run order was a little bit better for all the hard tire guys, maybe having the True Street class go first. And the fact that it never got, like, it cooled down for like an hour or two, and then like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, it seemed like it warmed right back up. So the track stayed pretty good all night.
Yeah, they kept it moving pretty decently.
Yeah.
And so who do you have first round?
Ian Price, I believe.
It
was like a blue Vega, maybe.
Yeah, I have it here. Oops. Yeah, Ian Price with the Vega. And then second round, you had
It was Lee. I think it was Lee Hayes, white SN95.
Yep. I probably need my glasses. There we go. Expanded it. And so how'd that race go on the second one?
I mean, it went better than the first pass. The track got better. I think I left the tune up pretty much the same. I was just trying to get it down, without pedaling it too much. But, in the back of my head, I'm still worried that, that's the first pass. The car seemed to go right. And I just got out of it and pedaled it a couple times. And same thing was kind of in my head going into the second round, where I just hoping that I made a small anti-roll bar adjustment, and that seemed to help a lot. And then going into the third round, it finally put down a pretty good pass, and then I just kept turning it up a little bit from there. Luckily, I got the bye run after that. So I'd been in the right lane all night, so I decided to take the bye in the left, and it held pretty much what I gave it. So I think I turned it down just a tad going into the final because it spun a little bit on the big end, and it took it. So
yeah, so talk to us about that final, because Ballard gave you a run for the money there for a minute. Ballard's no slouch. That Nova is amazing.
Right.
I kind of didn't figure it was going to go that way. I didn't figure he was going to get out on you the way he did. And I talked to him after, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I turned it up because I knew I had to turn it up." And he's like, "I knew I had to do this, that, and the other." So he got a lot of respect for you and your program.
Right.
He knew he had to step his game up. But from your perspective, how'd that go?
And usually I'm, for the first half of the race or something, I'm just waiting for the boost to come in, and I had my finger over the scramble, but about, once we hit that second transition or whatever, I started pulling away, and I didn't end up grabbing the scramble or anything. So
yeah, I think about this.
It was tight.
Yeah, I think about the same time you were coming into boost good, he just kind of edged off the side there, got the right tire in the grass just a hair, and he came back. He recovered. Thank God he recovered, because that thing will suck you down. But it was still a close race. I was impressed with old Dave there, that pass.
Right.
Like I said, he knew who he was up against, so he knew he had to give it everything. It's probably one of my favorite finals, to be honest. A little back and forth action, and then
Right.
you got around him really well there at the end there. Where can people see you race next?
I'll be at Dragway Magnolia this Saturday
For no Prep Mania. And
Yep.
who anybody you want to shout out who helps you with the car? You got any sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, my crew, obviously, that goes with me, makes everything possible. So James Mitchell, my wife, David Best, my buddy Manny, he pretty much drops whatever he's doing to come help me get the car ready. My dad, Canton Automotive Machine, Janus Transmissions. It's definitely a team effort. So it was rough being up for 36 hours straight, because we loaded everything up after the race. I'm like, we could crash for a couple hours and then load all this stuff up in the rain and get home at midnight, and that wasn't really something I wanted to do. So, but
South Avenue Nails is a sponsor.
Well, yeah, that's my wife's. I didn't figure anyone was going to drive from Indiana to get their nails done in Talmadge, Ohio, but
But if you do, or you just happen to be in Talmadge, South Avenue Nails. Help Mike make it to the next race.
If you're making a trip to if you're making a trip to Summit Racing in town, he's just right down the street. So
yes, make sure that you put on a percentage on there for Mike on the tip. What else? I think we about covered everything, didn't we? Your crew, where you're gonna be at, and all that jazz. It's always good to see you, homie. And I'll see you Saturday. I got a couple pretty good shots of your car this weekend, so I'll get those posted up here in the next couple of days. But because like you, I left at 7:30. Like I was trying to pack up before the rain. They said the rain was going to hit about 7:30, so I had to pack everything up, make sure I was done. And I think the 26 was the last finals, and I said my goodbyes on the way to the car, and I went and got breakfast, and I got home about 4.
Yeah,
and I was going to go to No Prep Kings because it's only 10 minutes from the house, but I took a shower and I was done.
Yeah, we got packed up and got out of there about noon, so we got home around 6 o'clock, which is still gave me at least one good night, 2 nights to get some sleep, but still today was a little rough at work. So
agreed. Agreed. Well, good deal, man. We'll have a good week, and I'll see you Saturday. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, and all right, sounds good.
Hopefully we'll have you again Saturday, or for Saturday's race.
Right. I'm going to do my best.
Take care. We'll see you. Bye. So awesome guy, man. Awesome team. Make sure you if you see those guys at a race, go talk to them and get you a Slim Shady shirt. Help support the cause. And just always doing their best and making an impressive showing at every race. So we got this maniac here who decided to do 28s and 26s. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not too much. So
how many of those semi-truck caffeine pills and Red Bulls did it take for you to stay awake and alert enough to race 28s and 26s over that long period?
Just made a little bit of coffee in the trailer. That's it. So I was actually completely lost as far as time went. I thought it was like 2 a.m, and when I was lining up with Zach Sherman, I looked over and the sun's coming up, and I looked at my phone and it was like 4:45 in the morning or something, and yeah, that's how far off I was on time. So
oh yeah, probably about 2 o'clock Saturday morning, I was trying to eat some nachos and I kept falling asleep, and then I started a sentence on one topic and finished that same sentence with the second half of that sentence was of a completely and totally different topic, and then I caught myself and I said, I gotta sleep, I'm done. Yeah. I don't know how you guys did it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I go on little sleep anyways, so it was not a big deal. So.
Yeah, no, normally I do too, but I just the few days beforehand I didn't get good sleep, so I was like on a 3-day stretch of no sleep, and I found my limit.
Yeah.
So 28s and 26s. Was this your first race on a 26?
I raced KD last year on a 26 also. It's the first time I ever raced on a 26. So.
That's right. So you did have well, you've changed quite a bit since then though. But I guess you had a little bit of.
I did different turbos and I moved some stuff around, but I guess, yeah, I have changed quite a bit actually. So Yeah, they hadn't been back on my car since then. We put them on and made 2 test hits, and it went good. And we're like, well, we're going to send it. So,
so how, without divulging any, well, let's back up. Yeah. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Brian, Brian, why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about the car.
Brian White from Dakota, Illinois. I've got the red New Edge Mustang with a white front bumper on it. It's a twin turbo Coyote car. So kind of same thing as everybody else, but a little different with the Coyote. So yeah. It started as an LS car. I actually went to the final 6 at War in the Woods last year in the spring race and went home and took the LS out and put a Coyote in it. So kind of a mid-season swap, but
and you were racing that next Saturday, weren't you?
Not that next Saturday, but I was racing by the end of the month. So I had the swap all done in, I think, 2 weeks. So yeah, because I went to Gangster's Paradise on the Coyote. So
that's right. Yeah, it was a few weeks, but still very impressive for everything you did. So coming into this race, what kind of strategies did you have implemented? Because I know you're not somebody that just haphazard does stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this was only the second race I've made it to this year. The Supercross schedule was gnarly, and I had made some changes to the car. So by the time the Supercross was over, I didn't get a chance to make it to anywhere else. I made it to that 1 mile because I took the weekend off from Supercross, and then I made a bunch of changes to the car just as far as like chassis wise and moved some stuff around, but spent 2 weekends really kind of testing and getting stuff ironed out. And other than that, I didn't get a chance to race. So it's kind of a little green with the new combo, but as far as racing, I mean, yeah, I got some test passes in, but.
Oh, good. So what are without giving away too much information, how close are you 28 versus 26? Are you very close, kind of close?
I'm actually a lot closer than I expected to be, but I didn't get close until the last round because I drew first pair every single round on 26s, and we were right after hard tires, so we were the first pair to go down. So I'm like, I didn't really know, because that's tough when you're after hard tire. Like, as the rounds go on, you get a lot of the better hard tire guys. Like, they don't, take as much of the rubber up. But when you're early, some of the like hard tire guys that haven't got it fully figured out yet, they pull a lot of the rubber off the starting line. So you're kind of, it's tough to judge where it's going to be exactly. So I didn't really get to get after it, I felt like, on the 26 until the, last round. But yeah, the last round I dropped 2 10s, which was, pretty big. So.
No, well, not at that, at probably half the horsepower you run when my last version of the Blazer was out on the streets. It was faster on the 26 than 28. It just worked better. Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. I imagine it's not going to be too far off of the class. The times won't be too far off here in the near future. Smart guys like you are going to get it figured out pretty quickly.
So, I don't know if I'm smart. Maybe just determined hillbilly, I call myself.
Well, smarter than me. How about that? Nobody can do. That's indisputable. So bouncing back and forth, what was that chaotic ballet like? Did you have to do a bunch of chassis changes or tune changes, or did you literally just pull tires off and swap them?
Doing tune changes. There were suspension changes between every round. It's pretty wild. We ended up on top of the hill, and it was just myself and my girlfriend, and I mean, she was a trooper all night long. Like I was expecting her to, get tired and kind of give up. And man, she was right there. I mean, every time hustling back to get the car. Cause I mean, like when we raced Zach Sherman, we raced 26s. And when we were coming down the return road with the car, 28s was already in the staging lanes and we were first pair of 28s. So like, I mean, we were hustling, getting tune changed, tires changed, fuel back in the car, trying to get fans on it for as long as we could, trying to get it cooled down, and then being all the way up on top of the hill. Like it was gnarly. It was pretty wild. Luckily my buddy Dalton that works for Motion Raceworks, like they got kind of closed their rig up when it got later, and he came up and helped a couple times, swap tires. And that was a huge help because when it got, down there where the fields were getting smaller, it was definitely a quick turnaround between the two. So.
Oh yeah. How close was the race with the Talon?
That one was, I don't know exactly what I had on him. I mean, I would say probably a car on him, but I mean, I could be off a little bit on that. It's hard to say, when you're in the car. I know he wasn't close enough to be in my periph when we, finished, but I know he wasn't far off of that either. So, he was right there. So that, second round, Matt Jones made a good pass too. Like that one was, I mean, him and the Talon were both, relatively close. It was by no means like a blowout with either one of them. So.
And so coming into the semis in 28, tell us about that.
So coming into the semis, I actually got a decent amount of cool down time before the quarterfinals. And I made a really good pass in the quarterfinals. And then coming into the semifinals, we were pretty tight again on time. So just same thing, got the car cooled down the best that we could. I actually left the same tune-up in because what I made for a pass in the quarterfinals, I was like, wow, that was by far my best pass of the day, or night or morning, whatever you want to call it, somewhere in between. But yeah, the event. But I'm pretty upset with myself. I feel like I kind of dropped the ball. I didn't have I don't run a trans cooler on my car, and I just usually cool it off with fans. But being that there was rain coming, they were running us through so quick, and I need to get, I got everything I need today to get a external pit cooler so that I can actually cool the trans fluid. I don't have a temp sensor on it because I don't even want to know where it was at, but it slowed down quite a bit in the semifinal. And just looking at it, like the converter slip was more, I feel like everything was just hot and, so, which is my fault. I dropped the ball on that. I need to be better. So definitely a learning lesson, but.
Well, learning curve, and I know you'll adjust.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Frankenstein, that car's fast. We had a relatively close race, so I was really excited to be, in the ballpark there. But man, by the time we made it to that time in the morning, I felt bad for my car. Like that thing had just been heat cycled through something fierce. I know when we pulled up into the lanes to race Zach Sherman, that thing was 40 degrees hotter than what I ever like to start a burnout at. And I was like, man, this poor car. And it was so slow coming on the brake on that one because everything was just toasty hot. And I was like, man, but it did start puking trans fluid out, which, I'm still not 100% sure where it came from. I ordered all new seals and everything for my transmission. I'm actually going to pull it out when I'm done with this. And, it's leaking from somewhere. I pulled the pan off yesterday and it doesn't look like there's a lot of material in there, but it doesn't leak until you put it on the brake. So when I raced Andrew in the final for 26s, I said, hey, let's, if you don't mind, let's let 28s go first. I said, this thing's not leaking now, but it might leak. So I would prefer to be the last pair down. That way I'm not messing up the track for somebody else. And it didn't leak at all in the burnout and anything. And when I put it on the brake, it did leak a little bit again. So I'm glad that I made that decision, you know, and that they let us move it around, and Andrew was cool about it. Cause I would have definitely been upset with myself if I would have messed the track up for, you know, another final. So
no, it was good that you came forward like that. Like, I don't know why sometimes people don't. They know their stuff's leaking or whatever. There's a chance, and they just try to send it anyways. Like there's
like I said, we cleaned it all up, and I didn't know exactly where it was coming from, and I thought maybe my vent line that goes back to my like overflow tank got pinched. So I clipped that off, and then I've just put a, you know, zip tied a bottle underneath and put that vent line into a bottle. We cleaned it all off and started it up there, you know, in the pits, and it wasn't leaking anywhere. And like I said, you know, coming down, it didn't leak anywhere. It didn't leak in the burnout, but when I put it on the brake again, it leaked. So I don't know, you know, like I said, it's coming from a seal or something somewhere, but I ordered basically all new seals for the whole thing. So.
And it was a good call. So I look, you know, I'm a fan first off, but so the Frankenstein race, holy shit, is that car a whole new animal now than before. I mean, the stuff you've done over the winter.
Yeah.
But, and then going into 26s, you know, Andrews spun the tire a little bit, but he's no slouch either. And
no, he's not.
I really like Andrew a lot. He's a great guy. I really wanted to see you two just make like your best passes ever, because that would have been like an amazing race.
It would have been. And I actually ended up being pitted right next to him. So him and I were, you know, talking all weekend, and I mean, we're buddies too. So it was every round when we drew each other and didn't draw each other, we were both stoked on it because we were really wanting to make the final together. Because I mean, how often do you have two New Edge Coyote, you know, cars in the final together? It's not real often. So it was definitely cool. And I mean, we were both thinking the same thing. I mean, I know Andrew's fast. I know he's really good. You know, I felt like I had a little bit of a disadvantage just because I got first round every single time on 26s, you know, or he was a little bit later in the pairings. So I kind of felt like I had to throw something a little bit different at it, and which I did just a little bit more, but it picked up a lot just because I feel like the track was better without having, you know, so many hard tires go down. And I mean, I'm sure he threw more at it too because he was making clean passes, you know, and he spun, as everybody saw. But yeah, I mean, I was win or lose that one. I was just really excited. You know, it's awesome when you can draw somebody that you're buddies with that, you know, is making good passes. And I mean, I just think that's a cool opportunity you don't get all the time. And I know he was really bummed because he wanted to have a good race. And I mean, I did too. So it's, I'd rather have a good race than, you know, have something like that happen. But I basically let go of the button, and as soon as I knew the car was planted, I was in scramble, and it was very early in the run.
Against him, that's not a bad strategy because he probably did something similar. And
yeah, you know, it's
you know, his car works very well most times. You know, it was seeing that was like
for sure.
Was like, that's not Andrew, but also that's racing. That it happens. So
yeah. And I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but if he was thinking like I was, it was like, well, I'm going to have to try something here because I know, you know, this is going to be a good race. So, which, I mean, I tried something too, and it happened to stick. But it was, I mean, if I know him, we were both thinking the same thing. So.
No, I would agree with that statement 100%, you know. And I agree with that too. They both are great people. I always enjoy hanging out with them at the track.
Yes, they are for sure.
So Any of your crew, or well, Yori, the boss here, gave her a shout out, kind of, but anybody else or any sponsors or anybody that you want to give a shout out to before we wrap it up tonight?
I mean, I don't really have any sponsors, but Jeremy Elrud helped me all night on the starting line. Man, I can't thank him enough. Like, there was, a bunch of the Michigan people, Joe and Joey, father, son. I don't know if you know them at all, but they're always on the line gambling, and those dudes are great. Anytime we need any help, they're in there. Jasper and his crew are awesome. Chuck Be Humble. I know, one round he had to help out, and he was up there every single time. But yeah, I mean, I've almost become like local Michigan. I live in Illinois, but like them guys always have my back from over there. So, which is awesome. I really appreciate that. So, but yeah. And like I said, my buddy Dalton from Motion Race Works, he came up and was helping up top, which was huge. So just give us a little bit of breathing room. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just mainly Amber. I mean, she was, like I said, she was a trooper. So sometimes she can get tired and kind of ornery, and she was excited and stoked all night. So she was definitely a huge help. So I think she about stabbed me on the way home. We loaded up and took off, and I tried driving home, and I had to stop and take a little bit of a nap. I stopped for about an hour, and she's like, I can't sleep in this truck. You're snoring over there. And I just want to be home and in a bed. She was not stoked with me, but we took off driving and stopped at a barbecue joint and got some food. And then she took a nap and was all better. But no, her help was definitely appreciated. So
awesome. Where you plan on racing next?
I think I'm going to go to MKE at US 41 this weekend. So it's front side, no prep, but I mean, the way the car is working, I mean, I've had wheelie issues with that car for a long time. And, man, this weekend it never even tried to wheelie. So, I mean, I'm going to see what I can do on some front side, no prep, go play on that a little bit. So, and
nice.
Then after that, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at my schedule yet. So I know at some point here in June, I'm going to have to go to California and do some testing for motorcycle stuff, but so figured out from there.
Matt Jones says it was a pleasure to race you. Awesome job.
Yeah, Matt, I mean, you and your crew is awesome. I mean, chatting with you a little bit there in staging, and definitely cool people, good people. So there's a lot of good racing. So.
And so if you're not familiar, MKE's Chicago area. So if you're in that area, yep, or you feel like traveling that area, that track's awesome. It's an awesome track.
Yeah.
And then he'll be flying there. A lot of people will be flying there. It's a fast track.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, great job. Always good to see you and talk with you.
Thank you, sir. You also.
Wish I could have made it up that way, but I kind of just got bogged down at the tent the majority of the event.
Oh.
It was awesome, but I didn't get
no
out
worries.
much.
We were way out there in the back 40, so it was
anytime at any event you're shorthanded, don't ever hesitate to call me. I'll come give a hand
I appreciate that.
So always appreciate you coming on, man, and safe
thanks for
this
having
weekend.
me. Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Remember, no stabbing, please. Be nice to my guide Saturday.
Funny joke real quick. So she was getting on me about something. I don't remember what, but we were in the kitchen last week, and I go, you know what? I'm going to give you a new nickname. I said, it's going to be Jumper Cables. And she's like, why is that? And I'm like, because you're always trying to start shit. So that's why she's commenting on their jumper cables.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah. Oh, You might have to pat her down before she gets in the car to leave for the track.
She laughs about it. She's a good sport. So.
Oh yeah. All right, buddy. I appreciate you. We'll hold you up. Let you go get that transmission fixed. Have a
All
great
right.
week.
Thank you, sir.
We'll
You
see
too.
you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Oh man. Look at this stud right here.
What's up,
What's
man?
up, homie?
How you doing? You look tired.
I am a little bit, man. I was kind of halfway back to normal today, but today is also leg day.
Yeah, I get up at 4:30 for work, and it's been ongoing with gymnastics. I'm at my little nephew's last baseball game right now, so I was like, I got to run to the car real quick. I'll be back.
We'll make it quick so you can get back, man.
Nah, you're
But,
good.
I think you've been to almost every Warner Woods, correct?
I've been to everyone. I haven't raced everyone because either my car's been broke or for whatever reason, but I've been to everyone. Jeff would kill me if I wasn't there.
Well, yeah, but you've raced quite a few of them, though.
I didn't race the first one that Nick did.
Yeah.
And then I think there's two other ones I didn't. I know the last one in the spring I didn't because I dropped a valve the week before and couldn't get parts to get it back together. But I enjoy watching just as much, like helping other people is just as much fun as racing to me. So.
Oh, yeah. So before we get started, those of you who aren't familiar with Dean, Dean, won't you introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about the car.
My name's Dean. I'm from Greenwood, Indiana, about 40 minutes from the Brown County track. I got a 91 coupe I bought from the original owner probably 9 years ago. And he told me don't make it a race car, so it's always stayed a street car. It's a twin turbo LS car.
I hope you celebrated with a 6 salad.
I will never live that down. Next race I go to the Jasper's there, I'm bringing him a salad.
Excuse me. So yeah, tell us. I saw your post. So you guys went to was it Wagler or Muncie Wednesday?
We went to Muncie Wednesday, and my car wouldn't make it 30 feet and not spin the tires. I've tried a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of new bar angles, and my upper control arms. I've figured it out that well, I didn't figure it out. I think Jeff and Jason figured out that my upper control arms are too short, so it'll just kick the tire. It's not allowing it to go down far enough, and it kicks the tire if I try to hit it too hard. So this whole weekend was my most slowest 60 foot I think I've ever done, and I just had to pour the power in as fast as I could. And then I made four passes, I think, at Muncie, and it spun every single one of them. And I'm like, I don't even care to take my car to race. I mean, I was like, it's pointless. And then we leave there, we go to Waffle House, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, dude, I got to get up at 4:30, like, and Jeff's like, shut up, we're going to eat. And we're sitting in Waffle House, and he goes, let's just go unload our cars in the parking lot and drive 30 miles an hour head onto each other and just wreck into each other. I mean, we both just had shitty days.
That's definitely a Jeff comment.
Absolutely.
So coming into racing, did you have to make any suspension changes, or was it strictly tune?
It was all tune. I mean, it was slow it down, slower than it goes on the street in the 60 foot, and hope I can pour it in 200 foot and it stick, and it mostly did every time. I mean, I couldn't mess with a 60 foot at all because I'm like, it didn't spin. I don't want to to try to hit it harder and make it spin, because then the race is over, right off the bat if it spins.
Right. Oh yeah, that's tricky. That's a tricky area past 200 feet there to try and pour power on when you're going slow.
Yeah,
Because that track you want to be going as fast as possible. Usually about within the first 200 feet, and then hopefully you can keep going.
Yeah, and first round I was fifth pair, so I mean there was nothing down. My dad's like be good on the tune up, and I think I put it in second and just grabbed the scramble right off the bat.
And I mean, look good, and look consistent pretty much throughout. Did you were you fine tuning it and going faster? Or?
Yeah, I mean about each pass I would go a little bit closer, like into the run. Like if it was coming at 2 seconds, I'd do like 1.8. But I was trying not to get in that fine line. I mean, it was tricky for me. Without a doubt.
Yeah, and so then, what was your what do you think your most challenging race of the event was? Who'd you line up with?
And I would say, man, the guy I raced in the semis, gray turbo small block Ford car, I think. I thought he beat me 100. Like I came to the pits and parked my car to put it on the trailer. My dad goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I got beat." He goes, "No, you didn't." I guess it was by like 2 inches. I mean that car was fast, and I had to get out of it. I was driving towards the wall, and I mean at the finish line he came past me so fast because I was on my brakes. Because I thought I was about to be another victim of War in the Woods. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not crashing my shit right now.
Right.
So all my tires are flat spotted right now from locking them up, trying to stop.
Yeah, there were a lot of close races in that in all the classes, but that class was pretty had some good close racing too.
Yeah, I mean, I think every class is just as gangster as it gets, I mean, how fast the hard tire dudes go, it is mind blowing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They've definitely got it figured out. And so leading up or going into the finals after being up, we'll see, because I did end up taking a nap. I don't know if you did, but
I did not.
I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every day for work. And so getting up Wednesday at 3:30 and then not going to bed till midnight because day job, other crap, and then loading everything up for War in the Woods so I could go to work the next day, work half a day, and then go to the track. And then Thursday, I didn't sleep for shit. I think I got like 4 hours of sleep, 4 hours. So come Friday or Saturday morning at like 2 a.m., I was like, my brain shut down.
Yeah, it was rough. But,
so I imagine.
They made an awesome call just to run it right through because it rained Sunday here. So
absolutely the best call they could have made. We went up to the Bean and had breakfast on the way out, and as we were leaving, it was raining. So they definitely made the right call. And I know Jeff was a little bummed about the way it turned out, but I think it was the best thing to do. And clearly it was, because the race got completed. Even though it kicked everybody's ass big time, for sure, the race got completed.
Man, I don't know about you, but it went sundown to sun up in, it seemed like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we look over like, holy shit, the sun is already coming up. Like, it seemed like it was maybe 3 rounds of racing. I mean, time flew.
But yeah, Ruthless, you're right. It had them street racing vibes, which is right, because usually Well, not in this day and age, but when the world was a much better place, yeah, you would go to the track, do a race, and then everybody leave and go street race till the morning after. And you never seem to be tired on those days, you know. My man
Wow,
what's
Zach, you're
up,
my
brother? How you
hero.
doing?
Don't get it twisted.
Um, so talk about the finals, and we'll wrap up so you can get back to baseball
Man,
real quick.
I wish I could remember that guy's name because I wish I would have known it was his bachelor party. I mean, that is rad. To take your bachelor party and drive, I think he said 20 hours. I mean,
He
it's
had his
rad.
bachelor party at War in the Woods.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure that's what I heard on the announcement. That was
Oh,
his bachelor party.
I missed that, but that was a hell of a bachelor party.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. And he told me, he's like, man, I had to band-aid my car to get it up here. He said, but, I want to give you a race. And I said, dude, that's awesome,
And to make it to the finals for your bachelor party, win, lose, or draw,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing too.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Everybody I raced was so damn cool, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first round I drew one of my buddies that lives down here in Evansville, and he, everybody that was there was just cool as it gets, because I race to
Yeah.
have fun. You know what I mean? Like, this is a hobby to me. It's purely for fun. So when I go rounds, it's awesome, but I don't care either way.
Yeah. So how'd that win feel though? Because you've been working on that one for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it felt so good. My car has a huge dent in the roof from celebrating flat the top. I mean, it is not a small dent. And it's
Oh
it's
boy.
not in the middle of the roof. It's right on the edge. So,
Ugh. Well, hopefully it
but
can
yeah, man,
be worked out.
somebody will get it out. There's a million PDR people that they'll be able to get it out. Somebody will be able to.
No, yeah, those PDR guys are amazing.
Yeah.
So who helps you with the car, and you have any sponsors or anybody you want to give a shout out to before you hop off here?
Yeah, I mean, my dad helps me a ton. I mean, he's there. No matter what, my dad's there. Jeff's usually there. My buddy Mikey, Kyle, Jit. My wife's there. My sister. I mean, dude, they're all there. It's awesome that they all race. They all care to go. So they all help a ton. No matter what, I could text them right now and say, let's go test, and they're like, okay. It's an awesome group of people. It's a small group, but it's an awesome group that I'm fortunate to have. My wife is due this month, and she was at the race the entire time. Like, not complaining, didn't say one word. It's I'm very fortunate.
Yep, you do have a great group of people around you. Quality over quantity for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you learn that as you get older. I'm sure you know more than anybody. I used to hang out with 60 people on a Friday night. We'd try to go eat somewhere, and now it's let's just go with 5. you know.
Oh yeah, I'm just going with 5 and everything pretty much in these days. It's a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Any sponsors or anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Jit at Major Performance Solutions. He's the most expensive person to hang out with, Bullseye Turbos. He sells those in Hall Tech. I get all my stuff, through him. Jeff with Thomas Racing Service with his shocks. Got them front and rear and his K member spacers. And people say you don't need long travel, yada yada. Man, it improved my car 100%. There's a million ways to do something, but with his help, it was the easiest way, was just to go that route. And then Double R Transmissions does my transmissions. He's done it for 8 years now, and he always down to help, always ask if everything's going good. So I'm appreciative of that. And then Two Lane Performance does my roll cage and all you know, all the stuff. Can't wait to save my life. And Darren Oil from Josh King with all the oil and stuff. And that's about it.
Awesome. Well, we won't hold you up any longer, man. Get back to the family. It's always good to see you.
For sure. It's always good to see you out there.
Where
You
you-
need some sleep, my guy.
I know. I'll probably go get some tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
You got any plan? Where you plan on racing next? Any plans, or you
It's hard to say.
probably done?
My wife is due any day now, so we'll see. And I got my Biscayne that I got to take the motor out in. That's a huge priority to me right now to get that thing done because I want to drive my second child home with a 63 Biscayne, you know, from the hospital. So I'm trying to get it done. So,
Oh yeah.
but we plan on
Priority.
hitting some races up. You know, we've been super covered up with. I do install 2-post and 4-post lifts with JIT after my regular job, so we've been so tied up with that. But we're gonna get some weekends off here shortly, and you know, find some places to race.
Good deal, brother. Take care of business, man. Take care of that beautiful family. And one way or another, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you everything you do too, man.
No, I appreciate you, brother. Have a great day. We'll talk
Hey,
to you.
man. You too. See ya.
Thanks. I did give me a good little nap for about 4 hours. I was done. I wish Kelly made a comment on the post. I wish she would have took a picture of me falling asleep eating nachos. I wish she would have. I don't even remember who I was talking to, and it might have been her. Well, I started saying silly shit. I was done. My brain checked out. It exited the chat, and it was just all there was to it, man. It was, you know, when you have an epiphany about you just really said some dumbass shit. I had that moment. So yeah, I know there was more winners, but I sent them messages and they didn't get back to me. So, oh, I bet I was snoring like a horse. I'm sure I was done. Obviously, you know, Next Motorsports won small tire, and congratulations to those guys. And old Frankenstein, man, is just, like I said earlier, just a tough customer to beat on any surface, prep, no prep, street, backwards, frontwards, etc. They've made sure to prove that prove their pedigree with that vehicle, and they've done a great job with it. And of course, the rest of the Next Motorsports team, you know, they always show up and kick butt too and do a great job. So, you know, those guys know their stuff. Wow, we've been going for a while here. I'm just going to where I'll be this weekend is Magnolia. D-team race. They always do a great job. Let me bring this up real quick. I'm just going to do a real quick read off the deal here because I am exhausted. And I want to get off the computer. But let's bring this up. So, Tad and Jim's Dragway Magnolia. If you've never been, this is always a great race. They do a great job. It gets decently fast, but it's not going to be like a War in the Woods fast or a Edgewater fast. You know, It's kind of like a War in the Woods surface, probably about as close as you'll get to a War in the Woods. My man, I'll be happy to see you guys under better circumstances. I'm happy to see you got that thing put back together so quickly. So they do go fast, but it is prep, pour your own prep. So it's not water, so that slows it down just a hair. And I believe this surface is a little worse than War in the Woods as far as the transitions and little pieces of the track missing here and there. So it's definitely a little. I think it's probably a little trickier, which makes it a little slower. I know. Wish you guys could make it too. Kelly's gonna be mad because Michelle will be there. But 8.0 says 5K, but I thought, yeah, they upped it to 6,000 guaranteed in small tire. No matter what the car count is, if you get 32 cars, pay out $8,000. If more than 32 cars show up, payout will increase accordingly. Regular small tire rules everybody else has. 28-10-5 non-W or smaller, still roof quarters. Well, I will. Don't say anything. I'll just send her pictures Saturday, as a matter of fact. Body panels, yes. Still roof and quarters. Pretty much our same rules. They're just a little more elaborate. Basic safety equipment. Engine diaper belly pan required. Run what you brung class, 150 buy-in. No rules, must be a vehicle, no bikes. You can double enter if you fit in the class, must be able to hot lap. Same old safety stuff everybody else has. Hard tire, $50 buy-in, $30 tech car, 100% payout. Must be a minimum of 200 tread wear rating. If your tire does not show a tread wear rating, not be able permitted to run the class. If you're unsure where to locate this, please take a second, Google it. Still unsure, feel free to contact D-Team Racing so they can further assist you. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you send them a message and get that clarified. Cannot exceed 28 inches by 11 inches. Front wheel and rear wheel drive only, so no all-wheel drive. Stick shift class, $100, $30 tech card. Tire can't be any larger than 28-10-5 unless it's a 17-inch or bigger rim, then no restrictions. Must be a H-pattern transmission. Must use clutch to engage. True Street, $100 buy-in, $30 tech card, 100% pay act. 15-16-inch wheel max, 28-10-5, 275/60 DO2 approved radial. 17 and up may run any size DOT bias or radial. Stick shifts may run 28-10-5 non-W. All-wheel drive allowed, max 28-11-5, 275 DOT radial. Any power adders, any transmissions, fuel must be pump gas /E85 and primary fuel, no M1, M5, C16, etc. We can and will test fuels at our discretion. Must have a working cooling system, charging system, current up-to-date registration tags, insurance, no dealer tag, transporter tag, special plates, working headlights, taillights, brake lights, turn signal, must be on once start. Must have factory firewall. Tube front ends allowed only in front of front suspension. Factory glass. Windshield may be optic armor. Trucks with roll cage through the rear window may have Lexan in place of rear glass. Windows must function properly. Roll up and down. On their own power, but I would also assume that means manual. You know, some of the older cars, they got manual. Wait, what you talking about, Willis? No, we're not going to allow that. Factory body panels, aftermarket hood, front bumpers allowed. No adjustable tuner wings or weighted wings. All wings must be mounted. Trunk hatch, tailgate only. Fire jacket helmet. 2008 or older, racing harness, engine, belly pan, and minimum 6-point roll cage. Safety rule. Rules will any gray run through the entire 2024 season. Any gray areas will be decided by staff tech. All decisions are finals. So all class 8th mile, pour your own puddle, no water. So you must bring prep with you, or they have plenty of prep for sale at the event. So you can pick your prep up there if you don't have any. Flashlight start. If you aren't bumping, you'll be put on the starting line. You'll not move until the flashlight comes on. If you are bumping, make sure you're back enough to not bump past the starting line. Jump cam, cross, finish line cam be at the end, you know, all the same standard stuff. To review, cost you $150. If you're right, call's overturned, you get your money back. If you're wrong, we'll go into the pot for the class. Races official at the conclusion of first round. Sponsored by Stripper Glitter, Fuel Injecting Development, Psycho Racing, McCormick Race Engines, Vigorous Performance Transmission, and Cometic Gaskets. So all the same stuff everybody else has, basically. You know, they keep it pretty simple. And leave it, you know, cut and dry. If you do have any questions, I put the link in the page. Here, I'll post it up again. Make sure before you show up, if you have any questions or you feel like you have a gray area issue or something that may get you disqualified or be questionable, that you talk to them in advance. They're fair but firm. You know, they're not going to allow any questionable stuff or any BS, and you're not going to, like anybody else, you're not going to argue your way into getting your way. Great group of guys, and we will be there to have fun with all of you. It's one of my favorite races. Always a great time, and always a lot of great racing. The one thing. Gates at 1 p.m., drivers meeting at 6 p.m., first round at 7 p.m., and they have no curfew, so they will, they'll have, so the race will go on until it's completed, however long that takes. So if a bunch of you show up, could be another Warner Woods situation racing to the morning. I say show up like crazy and let's do it. what date is that? I don't know. Text me. Text me. This depends on my schedule. My schedule's been, I purposely made it kind of empty, but it's kind of filling up now. So there's that. That's where we'll be. Hopefully we'll see all of you guys and gals there, and all your friends and families, sisters, cousins. Just bring them all. Fill the place up. Let's all have a great time together. And finally, I haven't addressed any of it. And so I'm going to now. There's been some, not on my end, but there's been several topics that Ohio Grudge Racing, I have been, or more specifically, Gort, have been the topics of some controversy and from several different angles. And one thing that I kind of realized this weekend, I've pretty much left it alone. I haven't addressed it. I mean, I got my circle of people that I talk to about stuff, and that's that. But publicly, I haven't addressed any of that stuff. And because, I mean, if you've been following me for a while, there used to be a time old Josh loved to argue about any and everything online, but man, that time has passed. But so this weekend at War in the Woods, however, probably had a half a dozen people come up to me, and I know you guys are just trying to look out for me, or you're concerned, or you're wondering what's going on, and hey, I've seen this, or I've heard that, or whatever. And I appreciate it. I really, truly do. But my take on all of this, and why I haven't commented on purpose publicly, is I don't care. I really don't care. And the quick and the short of it is, God put the idea for Gort in my head. And if he didn't want it to happen, it wouldn't have happened as quickly and simply as it did. He put the idea in my head. I drew everything out, made everything happen on paper. And when I reached out to the community to help with funding, the whole project was funded in 10 minutes. And then it was done. It was assembled, and it was a functioning unit. Like within 3 weeks, I had all the parts, I had everything here. And my original intention was to only have Gort at Ohio Grudge Racing races because we'd stacked our schedule with a few more races this year. Now that has led into some other things, and I know there's some flashlight guys out there that have said stuff and this, that, and the other, and I don't care. I'm not out. I've never set out to harm anybody. Some of the people that are saying stuff against me are people that I've helped grow, that I've helped put lots of money in their pockets, and it's kind of sad that that they may have a disagreement with what I'm doing or what I'm direction I'm going now, and instead of just calling me or messaging me or whatever to talk about it, that they would take a different approach. But again, that makes me not care. I'm not an unreasonable person. I'll talk to anybody about anything like an adult. A few situations have come out of this. Unfortunately, I've had people who were really rude and disrespectful to me. The Milan situation, I'm just helping a friend out, a friend in need out. I didn't seek that out. I didn't, there was nothing more than a friend in need, and I showed up to help. And then there's been some unfortunate backlash from that. But here's the thing. Some of you who have been really rude and disrespectful to me online and in person see me at War in the Woods and act like it never happened and smile in my face and wave at me. A few of you I politely let know, like, I don't operate that way. Now maybe if you apologize or whatever, we could go from there, but I just don't work that way. I don't eat with the enemy. I don't hang out with the enemy. And when you treat me poorly, disrespect me, then you tell me who you are and I act accordingly. And a few people I was less than my best self this weekend because a few people really did get under my skin, and I shouldn't have responded to a few of them the way I did, but I did tell a couple people to fuck off. And I did tell a couple persistent people like, nah, man, unless you're going to apologize, keep that same energy that you did about the, this, that, and the other. And then we don't have to have nothing anymore. If the energy ain't aligning and we're not positive and talking about growth, or if we're not trying to address issues as adults, I don't have time for it. So I'm not going to make time for it. But the main thing for me is some of you I only get to see once or twice a year, and I get to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes with you. And that was kind of the case this time, where 3 of those people that is that instance was telling me about this stuff. And I'd much rather talk to you about your lives or your race program or what's going on good with you, instead of whatever is these outside forces that are not happy with the things that I'm doing. So while I appreciate all of you for looking out for me, because I know that's where your heart is, I just really don't want to address it anymore. I don't care. Anybody who does have a problem with me, if you have my number, you're welcome to call me. If you don't, you're welcome to message me, and we can settle any disputes or whatever you may have with me like adults. If you've been disrespectful to me, if you've been two-faced or a backstabber or whatever, then that probably should be prefaced with an apology, because otherwise I don't have anything to say to you either. But my main concern is I just don't want this nonsense to, there's 2 things to this. It's just nonsense, and it's a distraction from the growth of the community and racing. And I don't want nothing to do with it, period. I help a lot of people. I never ask anything in return. And I try to keep my energy that way. I'm not the best person. I'm not always my best version, rather, all the time. None of us are. I'm a constant work in progress. But everything I want to do for this sport, for this community, is out of love. And that's where I want to live and stay. So I'm not going to address anything specifically. I'm not going to talk about anyone or any situation specifically out any more than what I have said. I just want everybody to I just want to be very clear with everyone that I'm just not going to entertain any of that nonsense. Because it's not good for the community. It's not good for me. It's not good for the people doing it. Doesn't make you look good. Believe me, because the things that were said, weren't flattering. And secondly, I do understand some of it, because some people get caught up in like the racing persona thing. But for me, I'm Josh. I'm always Josh. I've always been Josh. Good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. None of you have ever seen a different version of me than you will see at the track, at my house, at my job. I'm not a character. I don't play a role. I don't change who I am or my morals or my standards for money or attention or fame or any of that stuff. Because while I enjoy all of you and sharing my life with you guys and learning about your guys' lives and this amazing journey in racing together, if by some fluke out there, if by some fluke that racing left my life, I'm still going to be Josh. I'm still going to be Josh tomorrow. If I got a ban from racing, you know what I mean? Like, Josh can never have anything to do with racing ever again. Starting right now, tomorrow I'm going to go to work. I'm going to be bummed. I'm going to be sad for a while because it's going to suck. However, I'm still going to be Josh. You know, I haven't, racing isn't my entire life, and that's, and I don't live for views or the attention from it. Hopefully I don't ever come across that way. I don't feel like I have, because I've always tried to make it about us, because it is about all of us, not just me or any of that kind of stuff. And I feel like maybe that's part of it for some of the people. They think I'm trying to take some of their shine away from them while I'm just simply because I'm trying to grow in this sport myself. And that's not the case. There's plenty for all of us. I've always said that. I maintain that. The abundance that God has for each and every one of us exceeds all of our wildest dreams. I promise everybody that. And secondly, I just want to support everybody and help everybody grow. So again, my main reason for this little PSA is not to stir any trouble or anything like that. I would just like all of you to know that I would prefer to talk about you, what's going on in your lives, your race program, your families, and what you're doing, or share with you what I'm doing, instead of talking about what the adversaries are doing, or however you want to classify them. Because to me, that's unimportant. God will sort all that out, and I'm just going to trust that, and instead of trying to take anything into my own hands. And I'm just going to keep doing what Josh does for all of you, and we're going to have some fun this year, man. So I'm going to leave it at that, and you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't like talk. Like I said, I don't talk about any of it or whatever. But unfortunately, I was put in that situation slightly a few times, and we can all grow together. We can all have fun together, and we can all just be good humans to each other. And that's who I'm surrounding myself with. And that's most of you guys that come on here. You know, I talk to a lot of you daily or weekly, and we catch up on stuff, and, you know, we talk about stuff outside of racing, and that's my reward. I don't care about fame or money or any of that stuff. In another life, I was a not such a good dude, and I've had plenty of money. I've had more money by the time I was 30 than most people do in their entire lives. And I can promise you that money has zero value. And I know this. And that's probably why I'm not, I love you too. That's probably why I'm not money motivated, man, because I know it's the least valuable thing on this planet. I promise you. I don't chase dollars. I don't change my standards or who I am for money anymore. There was a time, you know, decades ago that I did compromise my morals and whatnot for money, but I just know what comes with that when you do that, and that's not who I am. It's so unimportant, man. The time I get to spend with all of you is so much more valuable to me, and I would just prefer to spend it focusing on your greatness and having fun and smiling and laughing and loving all of you versus focusing on anything else. So let's just do that if we can and let everything else sort itself out. God will take care of it. I'm 100% confident in that, and we can all just have more fun together as a result, right? So went a little longer on that one than I wanted to, but I think I just needed to be said because I really felt bad. I kind of felt somewhat responsible for the people who did share the stuff they did with me. I felt like they needed to protect me or get me up to date or whatever. And I just want all of you to know I don't pay attention to it. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is, man. Those people will come to their senses one day, and if they don't, God will sort it out all on its own. I don't need to do anything. And when I do try to get involved, stupid stuff happens like this weekend. Like I said, I did cuss a couple people out, but I'll do better next time. But everybody have a great week. I hope to see you guys at Magnolia this weekend. And if not, I'll see you somewhere else soon. But let's just all have fun, the quick and the short of it. Nah, man, thank you for talking to me. Listen, I am the average guy. I'm nobody, and you know, I understand some of the people who have like bigger platforms are busy. They're very busy, and there's a lot of people that want to talk to them and a lot of stuff going on, so they don't get to have it. And I think that's why I'm happy where I am, because I still have the time to hang out and talk to everybody and get to know everybody. I don't necessarily need, you know, a gajillion followers and all that comes with it, because and that's great for, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I just, like I said, I kind of know what comes with it, and that's less time to connect with people and hang out with people. And I just personally, I enjoy that better now, man. And so I appreciate all of you that come and talk to me. It means the world to me. And you know, you guys talk about the things I've done in health and fitness and you know, my coming back to God. You know, there was this. A lot of people say, "Oh, you've come." I'm not. You've come far quick, and no, I've had a relationship with Jesus for a long time, but I turned my back on him for a while, and that was all me. I didn't trust him to handle stuff, and I got hurt and upset, and I was just angry and hurt and vengeful for a lot of years. And I'm just grateful that no matter what I've done, he welcomed me back. So with open arms, and I just can't wait to grow with him every day a little more. Have a great week, brother. I hope you don't, I hope that heat's not killing you. But yeah, everybody just have a great week, man. And we're just going to stay small and have fun and humble and just keep on enjoying all of you. So, all right. I appreciate all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Monday.